A story out of Connecticut, and the pictures could say 1,000 words. You look at this man's face. He looks disheveled. He got tattoos all across his neck. Y'all are not going to feel bad if I disparage this man based on what we believe that he's done. I want you guys to understand that you're going to hear some very graphic details as far as what he is currently under arrest for, what he did. So brace yourselves for this. But let me give you our disclaimer. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. I think that is beautiful, so I don't have to read that anymore. Now, when I looked this story up, and I want y'all to understand that I put this picture up because this baby is no longer at risk. This baby is deceased. What this man did to this baby is just, I've heard a lot of bad things that have happened to children, and I'm not so sure that this doesn't really just top off as one of the worst things that I've heard, like ever heard. Let me show y'all this baby's picture first. And yes, I photoshopped his face out of this picture because I wanted to kind of just show the baby by herself, and there were no pictures of this child anywhere. I was very lucky to find this one. So yes, I photoshopped his face out. You will see his face in other pictures, but I wanted to focus on this baby. Okay? And her name is Camila Francisquini. Francisquini, and I'm probably going to mess that name up again. It's a very unique last name, but baby Camila is a beautiful, beautiful princess. Strap your panties on and your boxers on real tight because we're about to dive into the information, and I'm getting this information from lawandcrime.com. So thank you guys, as always, for the article. State and federal authorities in Connecticut have released new details in the case of a 31-year-old father accused of choking, stabbing, and dismembering his own 11-month-old daughter before going on the lam. I sincerely hope that I don't even have to repeat what I just said. I hope that you guys heard that detail. Let's keep going. Investigators late Sunday evening obtained an arrest warrant for Christopher Francisquini, who allegedly murdered young Camila Francisquini on Friday morning inside their family home, police announced during a Monday morning press conference. Naugatuck Chief Police Colin C. McAllister said that the grisly nature of the crime and the fact that the alleged perpetrator was still on the loose has shaken the community to its core. Naugatuck has felt this loss across all cross sections of the community. Our detectives, our investigators, and all of Naugatuck's first responders have been deeply affected by this horrific and heinous crime. What's the lamb? I don't know. I have no idea what that meant. He later reiterated the nature of the crime. So if some of y'all on the run, okay, so y'all are saying that's on the run. I honestly didn't know. But I guess if I would have used the context clues, I would have figured that out. But y'all know I'm not the brightest crayon in the box. So anyway, he later reiterated that the nature of the crime, calling it horrific and gruesome, as well as one of the most trying cases to ever come through the precinct. The suspect faces one count of murder with special circumstances and one count of risk of injury to a minor. His bond was set at $5 million. $5 million. That's a very high number. Definitely a fair number. I say no bond, but if they had to grant a bond, make it high as hell. Okay? Now, McAllister explained that Francisquini has a long history of run-ins with the law. Let me repeat this. Some of y'all who have watched my channel for a long time should already know where I'm going with this. I need y'all to get y'all hashtags cocked and ready, please. Because this is a perfect time to use them. I'm going to read that sentence again. McAllister explained that this alleged dad has a long history of run-ins with the law. What are my hashtags for this? For those of y'all who know, type them in there. Hashtag, hashtag, hashtag. I'm going to just see what y'all type before I give them away. Long history of run-ins with the law, saying he is well known to law enforcement and has an extensive criminal history. He was convicted in 2013 of first-degree assault and sentenced to 10 years behind bars. He also has been found guilty on 1 count of possession with intent to sell or dispense and 2 counts of interfering or resisting a law enforcement officer. Type them in there. Get them hashtags in there. Y'all know my hashtags. Type them in there. Those hashtags belong to us. Before I even speak them, I'm going to let y'all type them in there. He is currently out on almost a $375,000 bond. Let me say that again. When this baby was murdered, he was out on a $375,000 bond. How did he get that money? Who bonded him out? He was out on bond when this happened, which also meant, how did he get access to this child when he is a danger to society? Huh? Y'all are typing in all the correct hashtags. I'm about to read them off here in a minute. He has a history of violent offenses and has posed a danger to the public previously. He was on special parole when he committed this crime. He was on special parole when he committed this crime. He was on special parole when he committed this crime, which means whoever was the biological mother knew that he was on parole for a special circumstance and probably knew that he had a violent history. And if that person didn't know, then they should have did what? Did a goddamn background check. He also had a court-ordered tracking device on him, which was cut off shortly after the commission of this crime. So he had an ankle monitor. It's kind of hard to miss that when you're having sex with a thug, isn't it, ladies? Mom, don't tell me you didn't know. To the biological mom, I don't want to hear that you didn't know. I would love to see this biological mother own up to the fact that she knew that this man was a danger, created a child with this dangerous ass man, and continued to let her child be around this dangerous man. And this mother let her child walk into the lion's den with the thug lions at the thug zoo, and the thug lion did exactly what the thug lion does. And it mauled and murdered this child because that's all the thug lion knew how to do. Our hashtags being, you live by the thug, you die by the thug, hashtag stupid is the stupid thugs, hashtag when you date thugs, you date death, hashtag hood hoes love hood dick, thank you, Hashtag TTO, hashtag TTT, hashtag no jail time, give them hell time, hashtag stupid names equals stupid things. Black people, we set the trends, we just don't fund them. Oh, that is a good one too. I like that. I came up with that a while ago. We care too much about the end result rather than what led up to the result. That is so, so true. Ain't that something? We're going to point the finger at him and we're going to only focus on him rather than the person who helped perpetrate this. The accessory to this crime is the mother who allowed her child to not only be created with a man like this and for her child to continue to be around a man like this. But there's never no accountability there. Why not, though? Why isn't she going to get jail time? Why is she not being investigated? Why is her face not being put out there? Why is she not being harassed? I can guarantee you that she's probably going to put up a GoFundMe and say, oh my God, y'all, I didn't know no better, y'all. This man did such a horrible thing to my child, y'all, and I want y'all to give me $125,000 in GoFundMe so I can give my daughter the best funeral ever known to man, y'all. If there isn't a GoFundMe, I can guarantee you there will be. Oh, there was. Ooh, I forgot about that. See, I'm so smart, y'all. I outthought myself. I was actually right. Check this out. Y'all want to see the GoFundMe? Like to see it, here it go. This GoFundMe gained almost $11,000 in 6 days in less than 1 week. A person by the name of Jennifer L., who didn't have enough ovaries to put her full last name out there, organized this fundraiser on behalf of a person by the name of Crystal Nieves, who I'm assuming is the mother. $10,000 in less than a week. Expenses for burial of this angel, and they didn't even put her face out there. The baby is dead. She is no longer in danger. Why couldn't you put her face out there? You know why? Because they didn't want you to figure out who the mother was, even though in order for the mother to get paid from this GoFundMe, she had to put her name on this GoFundMe, which is the only reason why her full name is on there. $10,000 less than a week. And again, I was right, and I'm usually right. We care more about what we can collect off of the backs of these children rather than providing a solid foundation and a life, love, happiness, sustenance, and protection for these children. We care more about what we can get off of the kids. That's what we call babies for benefits, and that's what we continue to keep speaking against. There's no way that this man should have ever been around this child. There's no way that this man should have ever had an opportunity to create this child. There's no way that this man should have ever had access to vagina. Let me give you guys the fair usage. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Some of you guys are asking what special parole is. To be honest, I don't know, but I'm assuming special parole is kind of like, what is that thing called? Damn, I just screwed the joke up. Damn. I screwed the joke up. If you guys would do me a favor and click that thumbs up, I want you guys to share this story and let more people hear about this, because I absolutely want to make sure and educate people, because they act like they're not seeing this. Okay? But if you guys would, please hit that thumbs up and share this story. Let's go ahead and get into this. I was going to say special parole is like special education, insinuating that this man is mentally slow. I screwed the joke up, though.
We're also following developing news tonight. The search continues for a man who is believed to be the suspect in the killing of a little girl. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Eliza Krasinski joins us now and brings us the updates and newly released images of him. Eliza.
Brian, good evening. Police are still searching for the man wanted in connection to the death of a 1-year-old baby girl that happened yesterday in Naugatuck. Now, newly released surveillance video from outside of this pizza shop here in New Haven shows the man police believe to be the suspect. Naugatuck police are looking for 31-year-old Christopher Francisquini. He is considered to be armed and dangerous, and police believe he's involved in the death of a 1-year-old baby girl that happened Friday. He fled the scene in his car and then abandoned it. This is a still from surveillance video on Quinnipiac Ave in New Haven around 4 p.m. Friday afternoon. The individual matches the clothing description, and officers believe this to be him. And now we are still working to learn that motive and how that little girl died, and anyone with any information on his whereabouts are urged to call Naugatuck Police Department. Live in New Haven tonight, Eliza Krasinski, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Authorities still searching for a man accused in a horrific case out in Connecticut. Marissa Alter with those details on a father accused of brutally killing his 11-month-old daughter. And we do want to warn you, those details of this story are graphic.
This is an unconscionable act. It is a heinous crime.
A memorial of teddy bears and flowers sits outside 150 Millville Avenue just days after the unimaginable occurred inside.
I don't know what to say. That's disturbing.
Police say 11-month-old Camila Francisquini was strangled and stabbed to death, her little body dismembered, all by her own father, Christopher Francisquini. Why remains unanswered.
I think that's a question that we're all struggling with at this point of what would lead somebody to do this, much less to their own child.
Police responded to the home around 11:30 Friday morning after a family member found Camila dead. It's believed Francisquini killed her earlier that day. Police say after the infant's murder, but before her discovery, Francisquini got into an argument with Camila's mother in Waterbury. It was then he allegedly cut off a court-ordered GPS ankle monitor. He's been on the run since.
My message to Francisquini is turn yourself in immediately. We will not rest until we take you into custody. We will be putting forward every effort to locate and apprehend this suspect and bring him to justice.
Security cameras captured a person believed to be Francisquini walking on Quinnipiac Avenue in New Haven around 4 Friday afternoon. The car he'd been driving was found abandoned on I-91 in New Haven that night.
If anyone out there is providing aid, assisting, or helping hide Francisquini, you yourself are not safe.
Francisquini was on parole after serving a 10-year sentence for assault. He's also out on bond due to several pending cases involving violence. Neighbors say his family has lived there for 4 or 5 years and kept to themselves. They were stunned to learn of the child's death, even more so to hear how it happened.
Let me inform you guys that because I did miss a little bit of information here. Let me give you guys a little more insight as to why I'm pointing the blame at the mother. Also, in addition to, check this out. Authorities believe that Francisquini killed his daughter and got into an argument with Camila's mother. During that argument, he allegedly destroyed her cell phone and removed the GPS tracking device from his ankle. So a person who's done crime for violence and you're shocked that he would commit not only violence on you, but violence on his own child. And you're just like, oh, I had no idea he'd go this far. He's not even a law-abiding citizen. And what I don't understand, and he's on record since what, 2013? For a person to have been being a criminal for this long, they have proven that they're not a suitable candidate to be a parent, and you have a child by that person anyway. Again, to make sure we get this correct, his name, full name, is Christopher Francisquini. Francis spelled traditionally Francis, Quini, Quini. I know they're saying Queenie, but it looks like Quini. Francisquini, Christopher Francisquini. Everybody got that? Because that's who we're looking for.
I have 6 children and number 11 grandchild on the way. I don't understand what makes somebody turn like that and do that.
Well, Ben and Jen, the community, they're still reeling tonight. Police officers and, of course, the family, they're just devastated about this. If you just take a look, you can see that there is a growing memorial in honor of the young life that was taken way too soon.
And also, let me let you guys know this. They're saying there's a $10,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. 10,000. I want you guys to remember, let me read this again. He, based on what they're saying, allegedly he choked, he stabbed, and dismembered his 11-month-old daughter. Choked, stabbed, and dismembered her, cut her apart, separated her body parts. $10,000. Matter of fact, if y'all know where his ass is at, give me the information. I'll turn him in for $10,000. I really think that $10,000 needs to be closer to 50 or maybe even 100,000. He needs to be off the freaking streets. That's exactly what I was thinking. Only 10,000? It don't sound like they want him that bad. We're not talking about finding somebody's lost puppy. 10,000, man, look. I don't know. $10,000. And they're saying he's armed and dangerous. That should be $100K. Somebody should be able to come up on $100K if they know where he's at, find him, see him, see something, say something, turn him in. $100K, we'll get it done.
You look like a normal loving dad, but I would never imagine he would do something like that.
Something that has neighbors on edge.
Wow. Ooh.
And has a family now planning a funeral for 11-month-old Camila Francisquini.
And I can guarantee y'all, he's probably staying with a family member or another female. Since females tend to love thugs, I think whoever he's caught staying with, if they are found out, if they are caught aiding and abetting and hiding this dude, they need to get half of the amount of time that he gets in prison. So if they give him 100 years, they need to get 50. They need to get a bundle of years for hiding people like this. There's no way they should be able to get away with that.
Instead of her first birthday party.
The manner of the death has been neck compressions as well as stab wounds. The
$10,000 on a repeat offender. Thank you for posting that. That is just so. They got $10,000 in a GoFundMe for a burial, but $10,000 you're talking about trying to find this murderous criminal who has a long history of violence. Do you think that he's going to go willingly? I don't think so.
investigators and first responders at that scene found Camila's body in a state of dismemberment when they arrived at that scene.
Her father, Christopher Francisquini, is now being charged with her murder.
This is an unconscionable act. It is a heinous crime.
And he's still on the run. Police say he had a tracking monitor on, which he cut off just hours before he committed the crime. He also destroyed his cell phone. Run-ins with the law isn't something that's new to Francisquini.
He is currently out on almost $375,000 in bond.
Although Francisquini is a repeat offender under the Connecticut Constitution, bail must...
If y'all know where this dude is at, if y'all are scared to call and give up your information, give me the information. I'll call and turn his ass in. Let me know.
be set in all cases unless someone is charged with capital felony. Former Connecticut State Representative and criminal justice professor Mike Lawler says had he not been able to post bail on new charges, he would have not been released from prison on those charges.
There was just a session last week by the Sentencing Commission where this very issue was discussed. I think, a number of states have recently changed their bail laws. To me, there's no reason why Connecticut shouldn't attempt to do the same thing. It's complicated. You need the legislature to change the law, and you also need to amend the state constitution, which you could not do before the November election in 2024. So it would take a while to make those changes, but I think they're long overdue and they should be made.
Multiple agencies across Connecticut, including state police and the FBI, are hunting for a man they describe as armed and dangerous.
The message to Francisquini is turn yourself in immediately. We will not rest until we take you into custody.
And you guys, we reached out to the state attorney's office about this, but they said that they cannot legally provide a comment. And again, Francisquini is considered armed and dangerous. This man on your screen, he is considered armed and dangerous. And if you see him, immediately call 911. In Naugatuck, DeAndrea Turner, Fox 61 News.
Naugatuck police are searching for a man accused of a horrific crime, the disturbing killing of this man's own 11-month-old daughter at her home.
Her father, Christopher Francisquini, is accused of strangling, stabbing, and dismembering that little girl. The search for Francisquini continues tonight.
Francisquini is no stranger to the criminal justice system. Tonight, Fox 61's Tony Black is looking into his criminal history and why he no longer serving jail time for a prior conviction.
I want y'all to listen to this because this is just beyond my comprehension. Please listen to this.
Tony.
Yeah, Ben and Jen, police are searching for Christopher Francisquini, accused of killing his 11-month-old daughter, Camila, in their Naugatuck home Friday morning. Francisquini has quite the criminal history, including assault, where he was handed a 20-year sentence. Now, only half of that sentence included time behind bars, but if all of it did, this murder would have never happened.
This is definitely one of the most difficult and trying cases that we've ever had to investigate.
Naugatuck police, along with state and federal partners, are still searching for 31-year-old Christopher Francisquini. He's accused of killing his 11-month-old daughter Friday and was last seen in New Haven later that day. The FBI is offering a $10,000 reward for information leading to his arrest.
Christopher Francisquini is well known to law enforcement.
Francisquini has a criminal history starting in June of 2012. He pled guilty to first-degree assault resulting in serious physical injury the following April and was sentenced to...
Okay, so I got that wrong. Not 2013, 2012. 2012, 10 years.
10 years in jail, followed by 10 years of special parole. Special parole is part of a sentencing, whereas standard parole is early release with the parole officer's supervision. Francisquini was granted early release, 85% through his time behind bars in December 2020, but was let out in November to a halfway house. A year later, he was taken back into custody for a slew of crimes he allegedly committed over 2 days, including burglary, attempt to commit larceny, assault, carjacking, and more. He served out the rest of his 10-year jail sentence and was released in June of this year. He's been out on nearly $375,000 bond for the...
Who bonded him out? Y'all know what y'all could have did with that money, even if it was 10%. That'd be $37,000 if it was just 10%. That's the part I don't understand. How people who are out doing the right thing out advocating for children, trying to build something positive, a positive message. They won't take $37,000 and give it to a person and it's actually going to help children, protect children, spread the word, get criminals locked up. They won't take that money, put it into the schools so the kids can have, better school books or have tablets, computers, laptops, lights, security, protection, fix their homes up, food, clothes, shoes. Could do a lot with $37,000 rather than bailing a nigga out of jail that ain't shit. I don't understand that. What's so special about him and what he could potentially bring to society that he needs to be out of prison?
The additional charges he faces. Francisquini was scheduled to appear in court Tuesday morning for many of them. Criminal justice professor Mike Lawler says some of those new charges are serious.
Because he was on special parole, he could have been remanded to prison just for violating his special parole. So that opens the question of why he wasn't back in jail as a parole violator.
Fast forward to Friday, November 18th, 2022. He's accused of killing his daughter. Francisquini then removed his ankle monitor and destroyed his phone and has yet to be located. An arrest warrant has been issued for murder and risk of injury to a minor.
Francisquini is considered armed and dangerous at this time. We caution the public about approaching him.
The Naugatuck police chief says they will not rest until Francisquini is taken into custody wherever he may be. They're not ruling out the possibility he has left the state. If and when he's taken into custody, Francisquini will be held on a $5 million bond.
Well, it sounds like somebody's going to just get together $500,000 to get him out for $5 million. I guess that ain't no problem.
We turn now to breaking news in Naugatuck, where police there are confirming new details about the search for a man who they say killed an 11-month-old baby last week. We now know that child was the daughter of suspect Christopher Francisquini, and police say he is still on the loose. Channel 3's Audrey Russo has the details, and we want to warn you, it could be disturbing to hear.
Naugatuck police describing a Friday scene in gruesome detail. They paint a violent picture of suspect Christopher Francisquini. They say he was already on parole at the time his child died. They say he took whatever measures possible to evade police capture. They also say the suspect...
I just thought about something. I know I've seen the system come after men who owe child support quicker than they come after this man who dismembered a baby. Murdered and dismembered a baby and has a long history with the law, breaking the law, parole and bond and bail, carjacking and theft and guns and whatever else he's involved in. Isn't that something? I've seen greater pushes for people who owe child support. Than somebody who never should have been let out of jail. I just thought about that. That is crazy.
destroyed his cell phone in that same dispute and fled. He was last seen on Quinnipiac Avenue in New Haven. Police are working with the FBI, offering a monetary reward to the public.
If anyone out there is providing aid, assisting, or helping hide Francisquini, you yourself are not safe.
Again, Naugatuck police are working with the FBI to bring Francisquini to justice. They're offering a $10,000 reward for any information leading to his arrest.
Somebody in the chat is asking, why did he even have access to this child in the first place? That's a perfect question to ask. And again, that's why I think that some of this responsibility also needs to be put on the biological mother. I don't know if Crystal Nieves, the person that was on the GoFundMe, I don't know if that's the biological mother. I'm going to have to assume that it is. But why isn't she being, talked about? Why is she not being investigated? Why is her face not out there? Why is she not being charged? for placing her child in this dangerous situation with this dangerous thug lion, and now they don't even know where he's at. He never should have been let out. It's just a lot of things here that don't make sense, and like I say, I think that $10,000 is laughable. They don't sound like they really want to find him, but I hope they do. I hope somebody, whether there's money there or not, will turn him in. Somebody knows where he's at, and I hope that they do the right thing. And the person who's hiding him, helping him, continue to stay skirting the law, I hope that they get prison time as well. But I thank you guys so much for listening to this baby's story. And I want to put just her face up here. Let me see if I can get her picture back up here, because I do not want him in the picture. So I photoshopped his face out the picture. Young Camila, young princess, R.I.P. That baby deserved every opportunity to grow up and become something great. And she was just doomed because she just had terrible parents. So may her soul rest in peace. And I really, really just hope that we don't have any more of these stories to report. But we have to stop giving people an opportunity to do this to our children. And that's where the accountability needs to start, okay? But thank you guys so much. Like, share, subscribe to the AFC podcast. Hopefully the next time we talk about this, he's captured. But thank you.